Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your peace, define your self-worth, and demand respect. Without them, you're like a ship without a compass, adrift and at the mercy of everyone else's agenda. The truth is, boundaries aren't just about keeping negative influences out. They're about showing the world what you stand for. When you set clear limits, you communicate a powerful message. I respect myself, and I expect you to do the same. This isn't about being unkind or selfish. It's about honoring your time, energy, and emotions. Men, just like everyone else, are wired to respect what is earned, not what is given freely. If you constantly bend over backward to please, you'll find that respect slips through your fingers. But when you establish firm yet fair boundaries, you become a force to be reckoned with, strong, confident, and undeniably respected. Today, we're diving into 5 essential boundaries that not only make men respect you more, but also transform how you see yourself. These boundaries aren't about playing games or manipulating others. They're about embracing your worth unapologetically. Ready to redefine your relationships? Let's get started. Time is your most valuable asset, yet so many of us give it away without a second thought. Endless favors, late-night texts, or waiting around for someone who doesn't respect your schedule. Here's the hard truth. When you don't value your time, no one else will either. Men respect women who protect their time fiercely because it signals that you have a life full of purpose and priorities. Setting time boundaries isn't about playing hard to get, it's about being hard to disrespect. For example, if you've made plans for the evening, don't cancel just because someone called last minute. Communicate clearly and confidently. I already have plans, but let's find a time that works for both of us. This isn't rudeness, it's respect, both for yourself and for the other person. By defining your availability, you create an aura of self-respect that others can't help but notice. A woman with a clear schedule and purpose becomes a woman who is pursued, not because she's unavailable, but because she's invaluable. Protect your time like it's gold, and watch how quickly others start doing the same. Emotional boundaries are about protecting your heart and mind from being overwhelmed by others' problems, opinions, or emotional demands. Without them, you risk becoming a sponge for other people's stress, guilt, and negativity. Men, and people in general, respect women who have the courage to say, "This is not mine to carry." It's about recognizing that you are responsible for your emotions, not anyone else's. For example, if someone is constantly unloading their problems onto you without considering how it affects you, it's perfectly reasonable to say, "I care about you, but I can't be your only source of support." This isn't cold or uncaring, it's wise. Emotional boundaries also mean not oversharing too soon. While vulnerability is powerful, it needs to be earned, not freely given. Men respect women who reveal themselves gradually because it shows self-control and self-worth. Protect your emotional energy by choosing who gets access to your inner world. When you master this, you'll find that not only do men respect you more, but your relationships become healthier, deeper, and more balanced. Physical boundaries are about more than just intimacy. They're about controlling your space, your body, and your comfort level. Too often, people feel pressured to accept unwanted touches, hugs, or proximity out of a fear of seeming rude or difficult. But here's the truth. When you assert your physical boundaries confidently, you command respect. Men who respect you will appreciate your clarity and confidence. A simple but powerful example is the handshake that lingers too long or the hug that feels uncomfortable. Speak up. A firm "I'm not comfortable with that" is not an invitation for debate, it's a declaration of self-respect. Physical boundaries also apply to time spent together. Feeling obligated to spend every free moment with someone can quickly lead to resentment and burnout. Protect your need for solitude and personal space unapologetically. Men respect women who value their own space because it shows independence and self-assurance. It's not about rejecting someone. It's about embracing your right to feel safe and comfortable. When you uphold your physical boundaries, you teach others to do the same, creating an environment where mutual respect can flourish. Words have power, and so does your ability to decide which conversations you're willing to entertain. Conversational boundaries are about steering clear of topics that feel invasive, disrespectful, or emotionally draining. This isn't about avoiding difficult discussions, far from it. It's about setting the tone for how you expect to be spoken to and what topics you're willing to dive into. Men respect women who can assert, "I'm not comfortable discussing that," without flinching. It demonstrates self-awareness and self-respect. For example, if someone tries to pry into past relationships on a first date, a simple "I'd rather focus on getting to know each other in the present" redirects the conversation with grace and confidence. It's not about shutting down, it's about guiding the discussion with intention. Equally important is recognizing when a conversation is becoming heated or disrespectful. If voices are raised or lines are crossed, it's powerful to say, "Let's continue this when we're both calmer." This approach not only diffuses tension, but also commands respect by refusing to engage in toxic exchanges. The ability to control the direction of a conversation is a subtle but profound way of asserting your value. When you uphold these boundaries, you attract interactions rooted in respect, not conflict. Financial boundaries are often overlooked, yet they play a crucial role in commanding respect. Money can be a sensitive topic, but how you manage it sends a powerful message about your independence and self-worth. Being clear about financial boundaries isn't about being stingy, it's about protecting your resources and avoiding resentment. For instance, if a man assumes you'll always split the bill without asking, it's perfectly reasonable to clarify your expectations. A confident "I prefer to alternate" or "I'm happy to pay my share" sets the tone without awkwardness. Similarly, lending money or constantly covering for someone else's expenses can lead to a dangerous imbalance in respect. Make it clear that while generosity is part of who you are, it doesn't make you a financial safety net. Men respect women who have their own financial independence and the confidence to talk about money without hesitation. It signals that you are a partner, not a dependent. By managing your finances wisely and communicating your limits transparently, you cultivate relationships based on mutual respect rather than unspoken obligations or expectations. Financial boundaries aren't just about money. They're about showing that you value yourself and your future. Social boundaries are about managing who gets access to your energy and your life. It's about choosing the company you keep, the invitations you accept, and the social obligations you're willing to honor. Men respect women who can confidently say no to events or people that drain their energy without feeling guilty. If you're constantly showing up to things out of a sense of obligation or fear of disappointing others, you'll quickly find yourself exhausted and resentful. Setting social boundaries means protecting your time for the things and people that truly matter. For example, if a man invites you out last minute and you're not up for it, a simple "I already have plans," even if those plans are with yourself, is enough. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Social boundaries also apply to online spaces. Deciding what parts of your life you share on social media and with whom. It's perfectly fine to keep parts of your life private. When men see that you're selective about who gets access to your world, they can't help but respect it. Your social boundaries are a reflection of how much you value yourself. Uphold them firmly and you'll attract people who value you just as much. In today's hyper-connected world, digital boundaries are just as important as physical ones. Late night texts, constant notifications, and the pressure to be available 24/7 can drain your energy and disrupt your peace of mind. Men respect women who aren't slaves to their phones. Those who can set clear rules about when and how they communicate. For instance, if you don't want to respond to texts after a certain hour, communicate that directly. A simple "I'd put my phone away after 9 p.m. to focus on other things" is enough. You don't need to apologize for protecting your peace. Digital boundaries also include what you share and with whom. Posting every detail of your life on social media might seem harmless, but it can blur the lines between your private and public life. Men respect a little mystery, not as a game, but as a sign that you value your privacy. Controlling who has access to your online presence is a powerful way of showing that you control the narrative of your own life. By setting clear digital boundaries, you not only gain respect, but also reclaim your time, focus, and emotional energy. In a world where oversharing is the norm, restraint commands attention and admiration. Intellectual boundaries are about protecting your beliefs, opinions, and right to disagree without being dismissed or belittled. Men respect women who can confidently articulate their views without apologizing or backing down under pressure. Too often, We fall into the trap of softening our opinions to avoid conflict or seem more agreeable. But here's the truth. Agreement doesn't breed respect. Authenticity does. Intellectual boundaries mean having the confidence to say, I see it differently, or I don't agree, but I respect your view. It's about engaging in debates without turning them into battles, expressing your beliefs without imposing them on others. This kind of confidence is magnetic because it shows that you're not afraid to stand alone if needed. Intellectual boundaries also protect you from being mentally drained by pointless arguments or toxic debates. It's perfectly okay to say, I don't want to discuss this further, when a conversation becomes unproductive. By protecting your mental space, you command respect for your intellect and values. Men admire women who can hold their ground thoughtfully and respectfully, not those who agree just to keep the peace. When you establish intellectual boundaries, you not only protect your peace of mind, but also create deeper, more meaningful connections rooted in mutual respect. Your energy is a limited resource, and how you manage it determines the quality of your life and relationships. Energy boundaries are about deciding who and what gets to consume your time, focus, and emotions. Men respect women who protect their energy fiercely, who aren't afraid to walk away from negativity, drama, or situations that drain their spirit. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about recognizing that your energy fuels everything you do, from your goals to your relationships. Protect it like the precious resource it is. For example, if someone constantly brings drama into your life, it's powerful to say, I care about you, but I can't keep engaging in these kinds of conversations. This isn't rejection, it's self-respect. Energy boundaries also mean not forcing connections with people who don't reciprocate. If you're always the one initiating, step back and see what happens. Often pulling back reveals who values your presence and who merely tolerates it. By managing your energy wisely, you not only preserve your peace, but also attract people who respect and value your time and presence. When men see that you won't sacrifice your well-being for approval, they have no choice but to respect you more. In the end, protecting your energy is about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than mutual respect and reciprocity.